Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Scott with Keeping It Real Bass Fishing. We're out here on Lake Jonesville today and back here in one of the creeks. And I'm not going to tell you right now what creek it is. See if you can figure it out, which creek we're on. If you know anything about the lake. If not, maybe we'll tell you later. But stay tuned. Today we're going to talk about a subject that I don't hear much about. You know, I scan through all the different fishing, mostly bass fishing videos. I never really heard nobody talk about schooling bass. I hear them talk about a lot of things, teaching on or different, a lot of bait, a lot of tackle and how to use it and where to find fish at, certain times of the year, and what lures are the best and to use, during the summer months or the fall or spring, all these things. But I never heard anybody talk about schooling bass. And I'm talking about largemouth bass, spotted bass, or just large, or just, it could be spotted bass, largemouth bass, it could be stripers, it could be smallmouth, but I'm talking about largemouth. Largemouth bass. Spotted bass mostly, I think, is what we find in these waters. But anyway, it's a good subject to talk about, so stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. All right, guys. It's Scott, Keeping Real Bass Fishing. We're jumping back in here. We're going to be talking about schooling fish today. Like I say, this particular video, I want to talk about where to locate schooling fish. Well, I'm talking about bass, largemouth bass. Where to locate them on a reservoir like this. Where to locate them, and how to find them. And we'll do another video on how we're going to catch them. I've done a lot of fishing over many years on catching schooling bass. This time of the year is a good time to do it. It's fun, and at the same time, they can drive you nuts trying to catch them, but it can be fun. And so, this time of year, water temperature gets up pretty warm, and we're looking at water temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Shallow, real shallow, you may even find up around 90, or maybe even warmer than that. But you want to get in the back of these creeks. Like you don't want to be like in the very back, like in the back of those cuts like that, or where I'm pointing, or in the back here in the very back. You can go back in there and fish, but to find the fish schooling, first thing you got to do is find the bait fish. You got to find the shad, and whatever bait fish they're chasing in your lake or reservoir. You find the shad. If you know where the shad's going to be located at, then you'll find bass chasing them. Now, in the middle of the day, early when it's real hot, in the middle of the day, 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock, you don't see them really that actively chasing bass. Bass chasing shad I'm talking about. You don't see them schooling a whole lot. Every once in a while you may. I have seen it happen. Occasionally, you just happen to be fishing certain areas, mostly on flats. And if you can find some big flats that drop off to deep water, the channel area, those bass a lot of times will come up out of that deep water, move up on the flats and chase and bait fish, and they'll chase the shad. At this time of year, into May into June, the shad starts spawning, and they spawn in most of the time down here in the south, and they get up in the back of these creeks, or even not only that, they'll get up on the banks, and they get up on a lot of where you find rock and riffraff. You'll find the shad balled up on those banks around those rocks. They'll be flipping. You'll see them flipping out of the water and flipping up on the rocks, because they're spawning, laying eggs. That's just what they do. And the bass will get up there on them because they know they're there, and go to town on them, just eating busting them like crazy. Especially it's early in the morning. You can get up right around daylight, around daybreak, the first couple hours. That's when you're going to see that kind of activity the most, where they're up on the rocks flipping like that to try to catch them early. A lot of times, that's why buzzbait's good this time of year, or top water, any kind of top water at night or early morning like that, because the bass will be up on them rocks, like riffraff banks, after those shad, if you find the shad. And you know, spinnerbait can be good. Crankbaits can be good too, you know, if the bait fish are there. Now, I'm sitting back here in the back of one of these creeks. Right now, I'm sitting in about 15 foot of water out here in the middle of this channel coming in the back of this creek. And if you notice, the reason I'm sitting here is you see I had a bass just busted right there. I got bait fish. If you can see, hopefully the video shows, you can see it on video. I got bait fish all around me. And there's bait fish right around the surface of the water. All around me back here in the back of this creek. Go all the way back there in the back. So I know the bait fish are here. There's a lot of them. And anyway, I don't know if you can see that or not. But anyway, they're here. I'm trying to see if I can get you a shot. And you see some of them moving back there, and the back there you see those areas like that. And let me turn around. Get my big head out of the way. You can see, like, I'll do it this way. Those areas back in there like that. And behind me, over here. There's even over here behind me this way. So there's just a lot of, you can't really see it really good in the video. There's small areas, but there's also big areas. There's a lot of bait fish out here moving around, but I haven't seen but just a few fast breaking on them, or busting on them, I should say. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be back here in this creek today we're going to fish and try to catch some of these bass in here. I mean, they may not be up schooling on them, busting right now, but they will. But right now, they'll be underneath them. And I already, with my fish finder, I've already located, there's a lot of bass out here. And there's a lot of shad under the water as well. And the shad will be pretty deep, you know, anywhere from the surface to the bottom. They're scattered in different depths, and there's fish all over them. So they got plenty of food to eat, and sometimes they can be tough to catch because all they got their mind on is those shad. You know, but what you have to do is you got to throw something that looks similar to they're eating on, but something that's, you know, a little bit different in color or shape, or something of that nature, that will outshine or outstand, you know, the bait fish that they're feeding on. You want to throw something that symbolizes that bait fish, you know, a crankbait that would be, you know, symbolizing the color, you know, or the style or the kind of bait fish it is that they're feeding on, the type of shad. You're going to throw, if it's a crankbait, maybe you could even, if I'm going to try to throw under the shad that's busting on top and try to fish, you know, toward the bottom or underneath them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to throw even a lipless crankbait or some kind of crankbait that I know they're going to eat or feed on, and try to catch them like that. You can throw a spoon. You can even throw like a Hobkins spoon or a flutter spoon, things of that nature. Even flukes work pretty good sometimes. Small jerk baits can work. You know, that's when you're trying to fish underneath them. You catch them because they're not schooling on top, you know, like right now. But when they do come up and start schooling and chasing the shad and busting around, you can fire and throw right in there and usually catch you one. But that be on my next video I'm gonna make on how to catch these schooling fish and what lures to use. At least what lures I've used over the years and how successfully I've been able to catch a lot of them and what I've been able to catch them on. It may show you a thing or two you never saw, especially if you're new to bass fishing and you ain't been bass fishing long. Even some of you guys that have been fishing for long, there may be a thing or two I can show you never saw or tried yourself. You know, I've been around a minute and been fishing for a while, and we don't always tell all our secrets on what we do and how we catch fish. But you know, from where I come from, up North Carolina, you know, we keep things to ourselves a lot, and but we catch a lot of fish. We always have. I've caught a lot of fish all year long with my dad. It doesn't matter if it's spring, summer, or winter. I don't care how cold it is or how hot it is. We've caught them all year round. We wore out some schooling fish every year. About this time, that's when they start schooling up. You just got to know where to find them. And then, like I said, so that's how I wanted to show you. I'm sorry, this is why I wanted to make this video, is because I never heard nobody talk about schooling fish, or schooling bass, or how to find them, or where to locate them, or even how to catch them. You know, and so if you're looking for schooling bass, try some of the back of the creeks. You know, you don't, like I say, you don't have to go all the way in the back of the creeks. About midways back, you want to make sure that creek's got some good deep water. You know, especially the channel coming in. You need to mark that area and find that area, and because that's usually where you're going to find them. You're going to find the bait fish in those areas moving around, and the bass are going to be right behind them. I'm starting to see some bass starting to break more often now. Since I was just making a video, I done saw 3 or 4 come up. So, I mean, I know they're feeding, and I know they're in here. They just ain't feeding up on the top as aggressively like they can. And I don't know that they will show their heads and even school up in here today. But they usually do in the evenings, and that's why I'm here. I just put in about 3 o'clock and p.m. and I'm fishing the evening time, and because I know how to find these schooling fish and catch them in the evening like this. You don't see much guys doing this, or a lot of guys doing it. In fact, I don't see nobody doing it. So obviously they don't care to, or they don't know to, or know how. I don't know which it is. It don't matter to me, but for you guys that are learning, and it is hot, you know, fixing to almost into July. We're looking at 90 degrees plus temperatures. We have been for a few weeks, and it's just going to get hotter. Still got the next 2-3 months to deal with this. So if you want to try to locate and find some fish, if you're just going out and have a good time trying to locate some fish and find some fish, you know, just to catch fish and have a good time, this is a good way to do it. It's fun to catch these schooling fish when you can get on them. You just, like I say, you gotta be at the right places, the right time. You just running back these creeks, and especially, you know, you put in early and get out here talking about early in the afternoon, not in the morning time. You know, 2 or 3 o'clock, and just find a good creek off the main channel, and come back in here and just see if you see any shad moving around, any fish busting on them, and you gotta be patient. Try to catch you some. All right, guys. Like I say, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something about this. I mean, it's not a lot to really discuss. Like I say, find you some good creeks off the main channel. And, you know, you need to be on the reservoir. A lot of times on ponds, you're not going to find a lot of schooling fish, you know, for fishing ponds. And even on little small lakes, I've never really seen schooling fish. Not that they can't, I guess they could, but I've fished a lot of those over the years. I've never seen that happen. Usually it's on the reservoirs like Garnesville, you know, or Smith Lake, or Pitwig, Wheeler, you know, any of the other big lakes up in Tennessee and the surrounding states. You know, you're going to find bait fish, shad out in the water, schooling around themselves. And you find them, you're going to find the bass. That's just fish is feeding on them, you know, bass are hunting on them and feeding on them. How aggressive they're going to be, that's yet to determine, you know. Each day is different. But if you look for them, you know, and like you see this way the water is right now, they'll start coming up and just busting in schools. It won't be one, it'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It bust, it'll just be busting together, chasing shad. Well, they're up on top. So if you fire right in the middle of that, and you're ready for them, you know, you're gonna stick one. And you may have to switch around on different lures to figure out what they're gonna eat. But we'll go over that in the next video. So we're gonna go fishing for a while, see what we can do. And so y'all stay tuned in to the, well, I shouldn't say stay in the main cut. So we're gonna go fishing and do cut. All right, guys, we're gonna do a little fishing and see if we can get these fish to start schooling, catch some of them. If we do, I'll try to get that on video for you if they come up and we're able to catch any of those. At least I can show you what schooling fish is, other than just seeing the bait fish schooling. We see them schooling around. We won't see the bass going on them. So if I can get some video on that, I'll get that up for you as well, and so you have an idea what I'm talking about. And but in the meantime, I'm gonna go fish, hit some of these blowdowns and some things around me, see if I can grab me a big one. All right, guys, I appreciate you joining. If you like the content, hit that like button for me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Send us the content and let us know how you enjoy the videos. Love to hear from you. And watch out for the next video. We'll be talking about on how to catch these schooling fish. We're talking about this schooling largemouth bass, and we'll get that out there, that video, showing you how to catch those, and or at least on what lures and baits and all that. And it's highly recommended to use to catch these schooling bass that I've successfully caught those things on for years. So look for that video. It'll be the next one out after I get this one posted. So you guys, you know, stay tuned, and I appreciate you doing the broadcast. And or the video, I should say, watching the video. But anyway, I'll catch you on the rebound. See, there's a good one that's busted right there. We'll see if I can catch some of these. All right, guys. It's Scott with Keep It Real Bass Fishing. Appreciate it. Like always, y'all keep it real. Let's go get that big one. Catch you next time.